Welcome back to Delivering More, folks. I'm your host, Ben Alcar, and I have another wonderful Meet the Team to bring to you today. I have founder of DeliverThat, Aaron Hoffman, back in the building. This is a big-time one, I feel like.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a good one. I think, obviously, people love to hear from an individual who is optimal in creating the company they now operate on or work for. Our employees out there, I'm sure, consume this content a little bit. So I like to always start at the beginning on this base level question. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
Oh, man, Akron, Ohio. Akron's known for two things: LeBron James and Aaron Hoffman. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's so egotistical, man. But seriously, Akron, Ohio, born. Raised in the Northeast Ohio, like forever. Moved to where we went to high school together, Jackson. Third grade, I moved here.
Nice.
I went to Strasser.
Okay, yeah, I moved in second grade. I went to North Canton for a little bit. Came in second grade, went to Sauder.
Nice. Jim, did you go to St. Mike's?
You went to St. Mike's. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're all different school, different elementary schools. I remember because Jim, you came to Jackson freshman year.
Yeah, freshman year. Yeah.
That mop you used to have on your head. That long hair. Oh my gosh.
That'd be great if he still had that hair. I feel like
mine's getting pretty long, right? I don't want to take the
I
hat
literally,
off.
I literally just got a haircut this morning.
I got mine on Monday, Jim.
Yeah, we're ready to go. Cool. So grew up in Canton, Ohio, we'll say Jackson Township. First job growing up, how early, what age, and where were we?
I think I was always an entrepreneur growing up. I would just, random. I'd mow, neighbors' yards, shovel driveways, move mulch, just like when I was younger. But my first, I would say, official job where I got a W-2.
Right.
I was whipping up those sandwiches over there at Subway the high school, man.
Yeah.
Subway, shout out. First job was Subway.
Yeah, I worked at the Subway when we were down in Athens, Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
The titles like sandwich artist?
Yes, I was an artiste.
Yeah.
And I wasn't your A+ employee at the time. I was a high school dummy, and I just clocked in and clocked out. But got a lot of respect for people in that position. I mean, it takes a lot of work, man, a lot of tedious stuff, but it was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, a high school job too. We're just like, you're just trying to get the money to cover like gas at that point.
Yeah,
go to some movies on the weekends.
I was just telling my wife about this too, about how like I never really understood the value of a dollar until I had that job, because I worked like 20 or 30 hours for my first 2 weeks. Whatever part-time was at the time.
Right.
And I look at my paycheck and I'm like, what, $160 for this? And at that point I was like, yeah, money. You got to work for your money, man. Like, it's not, you can't just go ask mom or dad for, money anymore. It's like, you gotta make your own money. So that was like the first real taste of like what the value of something was to me.
And then what your delve into the entrepreneurship spirit from there? Were you like a lemonade stand kid growing up? You said you were mowing lawns, things like that. When was your first business that you attempted to start in high school or college or anything like that?
Well, oh man, first business I tried to start. I want to say I got roped into this, but I didn't. I knew what I got into. Got in affiliate marketing for a company, energy drinks. Got made fun of a shit ton for it. I'll never forget that. That's how I kind of got like I was a little softy growing up, at times, but I got like a real thick outer shell now because of the amount of like, I'd say BS I had to deal with of like losing friends over it. But it taught me a lot about starting your own business, right? Being your own boss, curating a schedule, task lists, all these little things that I still do today, foundationally were developed when I was a sophomore in college.
Yeah, I think too, it like you said, building that kind of shell, especially when you're operating for a concept that like everyone else doesn't necessarily believe in, right? So you could almost relate it, not in full to DeliverThat, but then when you create a company out while you're in college and then out of college, and catering's not this huge industry that it kind of has become over the last few years. People are like, catering, what are you talking about? It's like, well, I've already had to develop that that tough skin at one point in time, so I'm already kind of prepared for that.
Yeah, it's like that's where, to me, it's like, when I graduated college, and we started obviously DeliverThat well before I graduated college, but like, a lot of my friends got nice jobs, good paying jobs, and moved to big cities, whether it was Chicago, New York, Boston, and you know where I got to go? I got to go sleep on my dad's couch for the next year and a half, 2 years. And I know Jim remembers me just rolling on over to the Hoffman compound, and just some electric early DeliverThat days that we had over there. That was our first office too. It was my dad's house, and completely blessed and thankful for him because I didn't, he gave me an opportunity. All my parents did. I've got 3 parents. I've got a stepfather, mom, and a dad. So all 3 of them, really put me on, I should say, and supported me throughout this entire journey, and I owe them. I'm forever indebted to them.
Yeah. Yeah,
shout out Sandy, shout out Joel.
Shout out Joel. Shout out Big Dave. Shout out Big Dave.
Yes, absolutely, man.
Yeah, very appreciative of all of them, 100%. I do want to wheel it back a little bit, and then obviously I typically ask on the Meet the Teams how they heard about DeliverThat, whether it's through Indeed, whether we have a ton of like referrals from friendships out here that or relationships. We have a ton of wife-husband combos out there now.
It's a lot of family dynamic.
Yeah, it's wild. But so obviously you didn't necessarily hear about DeliverThat. You created it. So at what point in time does the idea come about, and how does it come about, or why?
I might have fostered the idea per se, but there's definitely I'm not just the only founder. I want to make that perfectly clear.
Right.
And I know you guys know that, but John has been my business partner for the last almost 10 years. I would not be, we would not be here as a company without him as well. So, but I will tell you, it was my idea. All right. I do say it's, and he'll,
all that being said,
and he does acknowledge that, right? He does acknowledge that, but it was my idea. We were walking to it was our first semester of sophomore year. At the time, we were still doing the affiliate marketing, and it was kind of tapering off. Once we're in it for about a year, we were like, can't be doing this forever.
Yeah.
It just
can only
I don't want to
can
be
only
doing,
paint a basement.
I don't
so many
yeah,
times.
yeah. I can only paint my basement orange. One color of man. That's orange basement, whipping around just energy drinks, dude.
That's wild times.
Anyways, so we're walking to Shively Dining Hall from my dorm room, which is Adams. So it's like a little short walk.
South Green.
It was freaking freezing though. It was first cold day in November, and I'm walking with John. And I look at him like, dude, because at the time we were getting people food for our fraternity. We were
right.
You know,
a little pleasant, yeah.
No. We were doing it we just were doing it. But yeah, we had to get people food, and it was freaking freezing, man. And I was like, we should pay. I'd pay someone to do this, and that's why I was like, we should just deliver people food, man, or anything. And John looks at me, he's like, I don't want to do that, and I was like, whatever, dude. So. Kind of let the idea marinate a little bit in my head. As you guys probably know, I thoroughly think through a lot of things.
Yeah.
If you've worked with me, you'll know that I look at every angle. And I said, you know what? Screw it. There's a market for this. I know there is. I know kids have their parents' credit cards.
Yeah.
And I know that people will pay me to go get them shit.
For sure.
So we put together a Twitter account. We got the VP of the university to retweet one of our tweets like, hey, we're in business, blah, blah, blah. Business is born. We start taking deliveries, dude.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And especially being all done on a college campus too, like that. And it was fairly organic. Everything was nothing was super manufactured. Everything we
said. We didn't pay for anything.
Yeah. The Twitter account was an overnight.
Yeah. We used my cell phone to take orders. So my phone's on 24/7, just getting blown up. There was no method to our madness. It was just hey, you want some? Just text me.
Some OU basketball players driving for the company early on.
Yeah, the whole evolution was crazy. But that's how it started. That was the idea. But John always still makes fun of himself for it because he didn't want to do this. And then in addition, he didn't want to do the catering delivery either. He didn't want to pivot the business.
Yeah, and then so I mean we can kind of briefly adjust the pivot also. So you guys, we graduate from OU, move back to Canton, Ohio, and then we pivot. We've told the story on a handful of podcasts and platforms already. So briefly, walk into a Ruby Tuesdays, you're offering the on-demand service. They have catering deliveries.
Yeah, so like I said a little bit ago, we were literally scrappy entrepreneurs. We just were looking to make money. At the time we really weren't looking for I never knew it would turn into something like this, right? But at the time we were we got to get money somewhere. So we would literally go into local restaurants. It was Ruby Tuesday in Belden. Belden Village has hundreds of restaurants if you're in from the Canton area.
It was right over here on Dresser, right?
And walk in there, talk to the GM. Guys still talk to him to this day. Paul Adamczak, shout out Paul. He's at TGI Fridays now, but he looks at me and said, I don't need help with my takeout orders, but if he had catering orders lined up, he's like, you guys want to take one of these? And that's when John's like, I don't want to do, the typical John Z, I don't want to do that. And I was like, come on, John, let's go try it. We took the one catering delivery. Took us 20, 30 minutes to set everything up. Got a fat tip. got commission for it. I was like, we can scale it. We can take this. This is a super niche business like model. Like we can scale that out. Like we could take that model because we weren't competing with DoorDash or Uber at that time.
Right.
Or we were with our
on-demand
type
pivot,
delivery.
it's not
and
as
our
much.
app was trash.
Right.
Like it just wasn't good. But like if we found a specific niche to service, like catering delivery, that's why I took off, man.
Yeah, and then so I mean now we're 7 years removed from that, right? So I mean everything that's transpired over the years, right? I mean we start out in Canton, Ohio, Northeast Ohio, Columbus, maybe Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, I want to say maybe were like the first couple markets.
Indianapolis.
I think
yeah.
St. Louis was pretty early
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
Baltimore or Detroit. Jim's
Detroit, what?
Cadillac converters getting chopped off cars, things of that
Have you done
nature.
his Meet the Team yet?
No, well,
That has to be a story
We've
you
done
get.
previous Meet the Teams. We're kind of revamping it now, doing a little shorter form, stuff like
yeah.
that. So yeah,
That's got to be. Welcome to Detroit.
yeah, he'll be featured very soon. That's a classic Deliver That story that I can't wait to share with everyone. But so over this timeline now, I mean, you went from starting with obviously John out of a dorm room, and now we're in an office space. We're at the point where we're now probably have hit now 50 plus employees. I think we'll have just brought on 2 new people of this week. So.
I mean, I counted, I think full-time equivalents over 60 now. I think we're going to have 100 people in this building by the end of the year.
Yeah. So
or not in this building, but 100 people in the organization.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
We're only counting people here. Like, you know how many we got? We have engineers now.
Yeah.
We got people without remote sales
Yeah.
people.
There's probably about 40 people in the office on a day-to-day basis, I'd say.
Yeah. I counted at the state of DT. There was 45 here at the office, and there are people that weren't even here.
Dang.
So it's like it's bigger than you guys. It's bigger than you guys think. And I know that like a lot of our tech resources, they're from the area, but they don't come in the office all the time. Like Tristan, for example.
Yeah.
You know, he lives in Canton, but like he has his little coding shop at his house now that he does. So it's like we have a lot. But I'm pretty.
Just imagine him in like a cave,
Yeah,
dark rooms, like
dark, cold.
Yeah.
Probably just copious amounts of beer everywhere. You know, like he loves his Coronas. But oh yeah. Do you know how many 2 o'clock meetings I've been on with him and just drinking a Corona?
He does love his Corona.
Those guys I'll tell you, the software engineers are different, man. They're a different breed. They work at crazy hours. I can't keep up with them.
So I kind of wanted to bring that up too. So now your kind of realm within the company too, and what you do on the day to day is way more tech based. And as you mentioned early on when we were pitching the on demand service, the app you guys had as campus delivery and then OU delivery. I think OU delivery was when it was first.
So OU delivery,
app,
campus
right?
delivery, and then we were working with a growth fund that OU was involved with, and they wouldn't give us money unless we changed our name, and they still didn't give us money.
Yeah.
And they still were, you know, I could be its own separate episode about how many people passed up on this opportunity.
And then so I mean, and now we're talking about how we're hiring out a whole tech department. We're developing applications, we're developing software, dashboards, things like that. So where in this realm of like where we are now, was your vision initially anywhere near to what the capacity is?
No, it's already it's basically now I've having to like retrain my mind
right
how to think this thing could get, how big it could get. But what I can tell you is that, you know, our ultimate goal is to solve this big driver problem of like giving them a voice, empowering them, giving them plenty of delivery opportunities. Because at my heart, like I started as a driver, so it's like I got a soft spot for drivers. You know?
Yeah, I think within the 3 of us, Jim, Aaron, and I sitting in this room, I mean, we're easily over 1K deliveries total.
Me personally, I'm over.
Right.
I'm in the thousands, man.
Yeah.
As people don't understand, like when we say we're buy drivers, for drivers, legitimately everyone in this building has taken deliveries. Every new employee, you know.
Yeah,
like,
they just went on delivery yesterday.
Every person is a driver. And like that's, I think Canes does this right too. Like everyone's a cashier, right, or a fry cook.
I'm not sure.
I think if you guys look up Canes like their CEO, he's the CEO and he's a fry cook, and their head of marketing is the head of marketing and fry cook.
Or, that's like
they
put
literally
that in their title?
it's like dude, they literally have to work shifts, and that I love that, man.
Yeah,
like
keep them on the ground floor.
That's also how you, in my opinion, it's how you get more innovative. Because you have to make an impact at that level to really change things. That's like why people are like, you got to get buy-in at the top. It's like that's not always the case. You need to make an impact from the bottom up as well. You got to like squeeze them in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to get both sides to buy in. But I respect them a lot because of that. Because I feel the same way. Like at my core, I'm a driver, man.
Yeah, always have been, always will be. I remember, I mean, it's been as soon as last year, we're like calling you up in Cleveland if we got an issue on a delivery. It's like, hey, Skip, this was right in Beechwood. Can you go pick this BB bottle
You guys
real
call
quick?
me if you guys call me today still. Like
Yeah.
I still have my driver app on my phone
Same.
ready to go.
Yeah, I'm always
You tell me
ready.
I won't hey man, I'm still a hustler. I still want to make those 30, 40 bucks in 20, 30 minutes,
Yeah.
man. Like I love that stuff. I love it.
Yeah, unbelievable. And I guess the only thing I could really ask furthermore on to deliver that topic would be, again, you kind of said you had to retrain your brain, but 2023, if we're thinking 25, 2030 into the future, do you have any vision further on that realm or where you would like to see this be or what you think it could be?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get into like all the soppy story behind it of like, the long term, but I'll tell you this. We are going to build the most driver-centric platform that exists, and I'm sure that's going to bleed into more of like the restaurant space. Whether it's helping restaurants make food on time better, because that is like the number one issue we see like on the delivery. Like if food's delayed for any reason, like that's valuable minutes. But we want to be a platform for the drivers. And we know that if we're a platform for the drivers, that in turn, we're going to provide the best quality of service to the market. Really focused on catering. I have no interest in going into on-demand for takeout deliveries or grocery or any other. I mean, I'm not saying we won't ever, but
Right.
we're so focused on catering.
Build
right
a
now.
million feet deep before we get any
Yeah,
wider.
like I mean, the catering market to me, you can really just hone in here, right?
Yeah.
But this thing, I was telling John last night we were playing Fortnite, me and John. I like Fortnite, all right? No one hate on Fortnite, all right? We all play Fortnite.
We the three of us in this room do. So
Yeah.
it's tough.
I love
tough for us to say
Fortnite.
anything.
I would play Fortnite forever if I could. But I was telling him, I was like, we're on the call, or we're on the Fortnite, I'm on the headset with him, and I was like, dude, there is nothing I can do anymore that can change the trajectory of this business in a negative or positive way. Like, there's nothing I personally can do anymore. Like, I can't stop it anymore. It's like it's a snowball getting momentum. It's like it's too big now. There's too many people in the pot. There's too many things that are off my plate now. I don't have control over. Not saying that it's a very good thing, by the way. It's not a bad thing, but it's like it's happening whether I wanted to or not. So it's like, why not just completely buy into this?
Yeah.
And just be relentless.
Yeah. I think we're all ready to go. I think we all feel the same. I think similar to what you mentioned at the beginning, Aaron Hoffman, LeBron James, Akron, Ohio. I think
It's so ridiculous. You got to clip that out.
I think at one point I went. Jim, do you remember when I said? I think it was in like a state of DT.
Oh, yeah.
I said like Canton, Ohio, LeBron James.
Yeah, dude,
deliver that.
It was like 3-3. I was like, LeBron James, deliver that.
Yeah. And I mean, we were even in that the live newsletter we had the other day. So a woman brought up like what we would do to sponsor like the Hall of Fame parade, and things like that. And I think really tying the business into
the community,
the hometown,
for sure,
is like a really a next level transition to where I would really like to go with it, making sure that our business is really tied into the whole culture of the city and the township.
We just re-signed this 5-year lease here. As you guys can see, where basically this office has doubled in size.
Yeah.
Like, we're investing in Canton. I'm moving back here in a year.
Yeah.
Okay. Building a house right now. But, like, I'm moving back here. Like, I'm ready to be home. So, like, this is home for me. All right. So, I mean, Canton's where we need to be at. I know we can make a huge difference here. We're all a bunch of Canton and Northeast Ohio guys, from the core. So, there's something special here in Canton.
Yeah. You don't got to say much more to me. I do. We're going to close it out real quick. I got to run through this last segment with you as I do with everyone. Be a quick 4 or 5 questions here called This or That. We're just going to run down through them. You give me one or the other, maybe a brief explanation. We'll expand upon it if need be. Starting out, early mornings or late nights?
Mornings, no question. You know why? Second cup of coffee, Jim. Hits different, man. Every time. Not that first one, the second cup.
I know you're an early gym guy sometimes too. So like,
dude,
how early are the mornings?
I'm a 3:30, 4 a.m. sometimes guy. I'll get in there. It's different, Jim.
Just build different.
Build different. No, that's not a typical day for me. But like, there are times where I'll get up and I'll go hit the gym at, like I said, 4:35. But I typically get up, between 5 and 6. If I can get to the gym in time, I will. If I don't, I typically go like around 1 or 2, and then finish up my day
Right.
afterwards.
Are you like I've tried to start to do this, like even if I wake up like and it's a random hour in the night, like when I'm up, like I don't try to go back to sleep. Do you find yourself being something like that? Like you're saying, like if you wake up at 3 a.m., are you gonna wake up and be productive, or are you gonna try to go back to sleep?
More than likely I stay up.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely weekly I'll get up at that time. Like
Yeah.
at least 1 or 2 of the days I'll get up at 3:30 or 4. No question.
Yeah.
And like really I don't set alarms anymore. I just wake myself up unless I have
Yeah.
something like that, you know, like
You have to
that I
get
got to be
to.
up for. Like
Yeah.
I set an alarm. Absolutely. But if I'm morning meetings until 8, I'm not setting an alarm.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Easy enough to get up yourself. All right, moving right along. Would you rather be hot or cold?
Without a question, cold. No doubt. Although I like the heat. Just you've been to my house, right? You guys
Yeah,
have?
actually, I didn't necessarily consider
You
that.
could hang
but
meat in that basement, all right? You could literally hang meat down there. So, no, I would rather put on a sweatshirt than like be just.
Yeah, so your
But, like,
reasoning
I
is
don't-
like the layers.
yeah,
thing.
it's
You
like
can
here-
always warm up.
I guess here, like, if we're talking about like, I love the Arizona climate, the dry heat.
Yeah.
But if it's like in my house, like to be comfortable, I like it cooler rather than warm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I would always rather sleep in like a cooler room,
Same.
a colder room than something warm, for sure.
Yeah, but like I don't like snow. I don't like cold
Yeah,
weather.
yeah.
But I guess that was a really ridiculous answer if you think about it. It could go both ways. I like the climates to be warm, but like my living
it's
area
not
to be
black
cold.
and white. We're in
Yeah.
a gray area.
Yeah, it's
We're
like
in a gray area.
I like my living area to be cooler.
Yeah.
But like my
Outside.
climate to be like dry and warm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's reasonable. I feel like. We'll get to this next one. I like this question for you a lot because I know where you lean already. But dogs or cats?
Dogs. Cheese tax. The cheese tax.
We'll have to like splice that video or something. Yeah. Shout out Murph.
Jim, the facts are the facts. All right. You got to pay the tax, man.
You got
Murph, when I watched that video the first time, dude, it's my dog in a nutshell. Whenever we go to the fridge, he's just
Yeah,
sitting
he's
there
right
wagging
next
his
to you.
tail. Yeah, I got a huge heart for my dog. Dogs in general, love dogs. Yeah,
I feel like all dogs are like that. Like you'll go like almost sometimes like an hour or two and like you haven't seen them. You're not sure what room they're laying in. But the second you open that drawer in the kitchen or the cabinet or the fridge, you just look to your right and there's like looking up at you like what?
And you guys know this too. Like, I work from home probably 3 or 4 days a week.
Right.
Like I'm with my dog he is like my best friend.
Mr. Murph.
Mr. Murph, man.
Fortnite name.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah,
Murphy.
Mr. Murphy. I'm not gonna give the
Yeah,
whole,
I was
the
about
rest
to
of
say
it.
I don't know.
But
Yeah,
Mr. Murphy.
Yeah.
That's my
Stop,
tag.
We'll stop right there.
Yeah, but yeah. So big dog guy.
Big dog guy. I'm not sure about this next one, so I am interested to see where you land here. Books or movies?
Dude, I go in waves, but I do read. I go through these spurts where I read like a maniac. Where like I'll read 4 or 5 books in a month, and then I'll take a couple months off. I listen to a lot of audiobooks and podcasts.
Well, Audible Action,
Yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff. I'm a sucker for Joe Rogan podcast. When it's like it's science subject matter experts.
Yeah, depending on the guest.
You know, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, like those type of
Graham
guests.
Hancock.
I don't know who that even is.
He's like the geology. Like he's like one of the pyramid
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, so like those type of things. But like I don't want to listen to the other stuff. But like I like knowledge. I like learning new things. So if it involves something like that, like Lex Friedman as well. I like his podcast,
Lex.
Elon Musk stuff. So it's like I like learning new things. But movies, like I said, it's got for me, it's got to be like something sci-fi, like about aliens or like pyramids, like you said, or like or I like mob movies and like war movies. If it's like a like a rom-com, I don't want to see that. Tori will make me go to movies to see one of those movies with her, but like it's me personally, I would never watch it unless it was like decent.
What do you have a top 3 mob movie? Quick list, top 3 all time.
Goodfellas has to be number 1,
Yeah.
dude. And I like The Irishman. It's just a little long.
Yeah,
There's a bunch.
that's a newer one too.
Dude, there's a bunch of good movies though. Like I liked. I'm more of a TV show guy. It's like just like in general, like The Sopranos.
Okay. Yeah.
The Wire. Like there's so many good. Like I wouldn't even necessarily call them like mob. I guess mob is organized crime. They're just organized crime movies. But shit, man.
I mean, that's a solid
The
list.
Godfather, the
Yeah,
Godfathers.
Casino.
Like,
we're
anything
working.
Joe Pesci's in.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much,
right, yeah.
Him
Joe
and Robert De
Pesci,
Niro.
Pacino,
Yeah.
De Niro. It's like if that's the cast, I'm tuning in.
For sure, man.
100%. All right, and we will we'll close it out here. This should be a good one. I'm very interested to see what you say about this one as well. Cooking at home or going out to eat?
Cooking, no question. But you should be asterisk of smoking at home or like grilling at home, because I do a lot of I got like 7 grills, so like I'll be cooking hamburgers over here, hibachi over here, smoking a brisket over there. I'm serious. Like there was like a 2-year stint where like every gift I got was a grill.
What you got, like a Traeger? Like what are we working?
I got a
with?
Rectech 590. All
Google
right?
it.
Yeah, I'll shout that. Great grill, great pellet grill. I think it's a 590. It is a Rectech. I'm pretty sure it's a 590. I've got a Weber. I got a nice Weber gas grill. I've got another smoker that someone's renting space in my garage right now, John. I've got a Blackstone grill. I've got
You're not kidding,
dude. There's endless grills in my house.
Oh man, I wasn't aware of the catalog.
Yep,
that's wild. What if you could, whether it's smoking, grilling, cooking, what would you say is the famous Aaron Hoffman dish?
I don't know anyone restaurant, and I mean this. You can ask people that have had my pulled pork. It's the best, no question.
Pulled pork.
Yeah, pork butt. Jim, those are fighting words. I know they are, but I don't know anyone that makes it better than me.
Are we? And then we're throwing it on a sandwich, or how are we consuming
however you want to consume it. Me,
okay.
When I'm going through that, like trying to cut out the carb
Yeah,
phase,
yeah,
I'll have that
gotcha.
with some jalapenos and like maybe some pickles and stuff, or so I just don't want a sandwich. I mean, but I'm telling you, I did a tri-tip over the weekend, and that was like the second best thing I've ever smoked. If you need to do a tri-tip, 225 till it gets internal about 120, 125, and sear that shit, and man, you will love it.
Hey, you heard it here first. 225. What was it again?
225. Bring that internal temp up to about 120, 125.
Yeah.
And then sear it. It's a pretty big piece of meat, and then let it sit for about 5-10 minutes. And I promise you, it's perfectly medium rare.
Oh yeah, that's all day. I'm a big fan. All right, yeah. Well, you guys heard it here. The Hoffman Cookbook coming to a store near you. Maybe, who knows? We'll see the smoke book. The grill book. I don't know what to call it. I don't know, guys. All right. Well, Aaron, I appreciate it, man. I know everyone's always eager to hear from you, John, Darian, kind of the OG guys of the company, and see where we started and where we are now. So I'm always very appreciative of your guys' time. So thank you so much, man. And
absolutely, man.
We'll see you very soon.
Let's do it.
All right.